The streaming era of the Disney company has been an interesting one. Not only has the production company pushed out a lot of content, there's also been content that hasn't managed to get off the ground. The news this week that Disney has cancelled Tiana, a spin-off to the Princess and the Frog movie, has taken Disney fans by storm. But why was this project cancelled? What was the initial plans for it, and how much of the show managed to get off the ground? Also, are Disney working on an alternative to revisit this universe? Without further ado, let's dive straight in.
Almost there.
Being a long-term Disney fan that grew up in the 90s, it's safe to say sequels, spin-offs, and especially TV series based off of popular movies is no new concept to me at all. So when Walt Disney announced that they were creating a TV show titled Tiana, which would serve as a spin-off to the 2009 animated movie The Princess and the Frog, I was not surprised at all. In fact, I was excited to see what they were going to bring to this universe. The show was originally scheduled to be released in 2023, but has been in development hell ever since it was announced. But what is the reason for its cancellation? How much of this show was in development? And are there any alternative plans to revisit this universe? In order to assess this situation thoroughly, we need to take a glimpse at Disney's plans to resurge the Princess and the Frog brand. It all began in June 2020 when the Walt Disney Company announced that they would be retheming the Walt Disney World and the Disneyland ride Splash Mountain with a Tiana overhaul. The ride went on to become Tiana's Bayou Adventure and officially opened in 2024. The Walt Disney Company began constructing ideas to bring the story of Tiana back to modern audiences, but they had three options. One was a sequel to the animated movie, two was a spin-off TV series, and three was a live-action retelling. At the time of conception, major plans for Disney productions were sent directly to Disney Plus because they desperately wanted to increase membership subscriptions and general traffic to the streaming app. Whatever they decided would have to be directly made for Disney Plus at that time. Writer Stella McGee approached Disney with a pitch for a live-action adaptation of The Princess and the Frog. Her dedication and commitment to bringing this animated classic to life in live action inspired the Walt Disney producer Jennifer Lee, that she made Stella an executive producer instead on this upcoming TV show that they had in mind. Thus, Tiana was announced. The official description read, Walt Disney Animation Studios announced that Stella McGee will be director and writer of the new long-form musical series, Tiana, coming to Disney Plus in 2023. In the series, Tiana sets off for a grand new adventure as the newly crowned Princess of Maldonia, but a calling to her New Orleans past isn't far behind. Then they released this photograph of the show. So after some investigating, here's what I found out. A leaker online provided more insight into what actually went down with this show. Remember, before I go on, that all leakers are not to be trusted. You have to take this with a pinch of salt, but I spoke to somebody and this is what they said. The show allegedly had an outline of around 8 episodes, and the concept would see random issues crop up every episode that Tiana would have to solve. It would see fan favourites return like Prince Naveen or Charlotte LaBouche, and all these different characters were going to be appearing in some form in the show. The alleged decision to cancel is because, and I quote, Disney's strategy has changed somewhat since the concept behind this idea was pitched. So moving away from Tiana, let's just assess what has changed at Walt Disney since the beginnings of the show. Disney Plus was once a major agenda for the company, with almost everything being scheduled over there in favour of a theatrical release. Now, I want to draw your attention to something else before we return to what this leaker has added. Moana 2 was originally pitched as a TV series for Disney Plus, and in January 2024, it was announced that the TV show was being developed into a full-length sequel to Moana, and it went on to gross $1.5 billion at the global box office. This, along with the addition of Inside Out 2, reaching $1.699 billion too at the box office, left Disney with the ultimate realization that theatrical releases were fighting back here, and the market for these movies was in cinemas and not via streaming. To add to this, Mufasa, a live-action sequel to the 2019 The Lion King live-action movie, went on to gross over $700 million at the box office too. The reality is Disney Plus memberships aren't paying remotely enough to warrant the production of these shows, whereas the box office numbers are speaking for themselves. So let's just return to Tiana. This source, who is well known over on Twitter for being pretty reliable, went on to say that Tiana's adventures will likely continue in a different format. I would expect announcements regarding a revival of the universe soon. So once again, treat all this as rumours and speculation. You know, it's not legit, it's not official, it's just what someone has said. But the reality is that theatrical releases are seeing a huge surge. But here's where the issue lies. Disney's days of producing drawn animated movies appears to be a thing of the past. Now, Tiana falls under the category of being amongst the final drawn animated movies by the company. It's unlikely they will be bringing a movie like this to the big screen, honestly, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, I think this show was cancelled in favour of a live action retelling. I believe they will take Stella and her pitch of retelling this story in live action and will focus on that rather than revisiting the animated universe. The recent announcements of Tangled, Hercules and Frozen being retold in live action makes me believe Disney genuinely believe this is the way to go with revisiting these universes they've created. Personally, I think there's room for both. It's no secret I don't dislike the live action retellings at all, I enjoy them all, but to alienate and sort of declare those original animated universes dead and buried is quite sad. If they learn anything from Moana, I hope it's that the animated sequel saw a surge in box office numbers, and the live action, which is planned for next year, will likely do well too. We can have all projects coexisting in one place for fans, whether it be young, old, you know, it doesn't matter. But that's just my take. What are your thoughts on this? Would you like to have seen an animated Tiana sequel, or would you rather have a live action remake? Share your opinions below and let's discuss this. And that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down Disney Lane and the Disney news. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you back here to delve into some more of Walt Disney's history and the Walt Disney Diaries.